Do you even ride dirt bikes if you don't have a dirt bike in your video? I don't think so. I'm gonna make a video comparing and contrasting the Pro Circuit silencer versus the OEM stock silencer. Pro Circuit looks sick, looks way sicker than the factory one. The body of the silencer on the factory one is actually shorter than the Pro Circuit Shorty, but it's longer with the tip. A little history, the reason I went with the Pro Circuit silencer for the Cowie, obviously, well, I just think Pro Circuit makes the best product, so it doesn't really matter what I'm riding. I'm probably gonna put Pro Circuit on it just because Pro Circuit's Pro Circuit. I believe Mitch Payton started Pro Circuit in about 78 when he got paralyzed from the waist down. Around 78, racing some desert stuff. I think he was in Cal City actually, which is right up the road. Started Pro Circuit, well actually technically he bought Anaheim Husqvarna, and he ran Anaheim Husqvarna for about however many years. In the meantime, he started Pro Circuit. The original name was Pro Circuit Products, and it was PCP for short, and Jody Weisel asked Mitch Payton if he knew what PCP was, and Mitch Payton was like, no, I don't know what PCP is. And Jody Weisel told him it's drugs, so Mitch Payton switched it up and quit calling it PCP and just shortened it up to Pro Circuit. And then I believe Andy Jefferson was riding Pro Circuit Husqvarnas in Supercross. He was the first African American to qualify for a Supercross main event, and I believe he was riding Mitch Payton's bike at the time. That was probably about 81 or 82. I'm not 100% positive. But Mitch Payton was just making stuff for Husqvarnas and realized that he was leaving a lot on the table by not making products for every other brand. So in 86, Ricky Johnson switched to factory Honda, and he was running the factory Honda exhaust, the HRC Honda exhaust, and he wanted to try one of Mitch Payton's Pro Circuit exhaust for his CR250. And Mitch Payton took one out there, slapped it on there for him, and he actually liked the Pro Circuit better than he liked the HRC Honda pipe. So Mitch Payton around 86, 87 they were running Pro Circuit pipe and silencers on the factory Honda race bikes. And in 91, Pro Circuit actually started their race team, and they were Honda support, so they were doing Honda's 125 team for them. That's when it was the peak antifreeze Pro Circuit Honda team. They had Brian Swink, they had McGrath, Steve Lamson, and Jeremy Buell, I believe. 91 and 92, Pro Circuit ran Hondas, and then in 93, Pro Circuit switched to Cowie because Honda was going to move their 125 program back in-house. So he was left without a manufacturer to help out. So in 93, they switched to Kawasaki's, and I'm not really sure who rode for him in 93. I know Jimmy Gaddis rode for him, but other than that, I can't remember. So anyway, in 93, they switched to Kawasaki's, and then Pro Circuit's been on Cowie's since 93, so that's 93, 03, 13, 23, what's that, 33 years? Part of the reason I went with Pro Circuit is because Pro Circuit and Kawasaki are like synonymous with each other, and I think the Pro Circuit just looks the sickest, it sounds the sickest. So, but I'm gonna try comparing the Pro Circuit silencer, and I'm gonna slap the stock silencer on and see what it runs like. Should probably sound check the Pro Circuit silencer before we switch them out. Little sound check action. Can't get on these things no more. R304 stainless shorty, which is weird because the body of this one is actually longer than the body of this one. This one overall length is longer. This one's got more of a gradual kink in it, where this one kinks down quite a bit, but it looks like it stays the same diameter. But it does make a turn. It makes a hard turn, where this one's flatter just through this part. This one's a lot flatter. This one kinks down a lot. It's got a lot more of a bend. Opening looks like it's about the same. Slap the stock one on, see what it sounds like. Gotta get on from this side. Can't get on these things no more. Low end doesn't quite have the overrev, but the low end's way better. Second gear, no clutch. now that we got done ripping around a little bit, for an honest assessment of the two silencers, I think that it kind of, a lot of it depends on the conditions that you're riding in, because the Pro Circuit Shorty definitely has more mid-range and over rev, where it feels to me like the stock silencer has quite a bit better bottom end, and it's just like smoother all the way through. And with it being dry and hard packed like it is right now, the Shorty silencer, or the stock silencer, I feel like is better than the Shorty silencer. But if there was good traction out there, I would want to run the Shorty silencer, because like I said, it's so much faster through the mid range and through the top end. Where this one kind of falls off, that one just keeps pulling. But just like grunting around, not using the clutch, and just having to short shift it because it's so dry, this stock silencer I feel like is the way to go. So maybe next I'll try putting the V-Force reeds back on, because I feel like the V-Force reeds have better bottom end than me running the stock reed cage. So maybe like you have like a summer setup and then a winter setup, to where when it's going to be dry and hard, I'll run the V-Force reeds in the stock silencer, and when I know there's going to be good traction out there from time to time, I'll run the stock reed cage and the Shorty silencer, so that it runs better on the top end versus feeling like it's choked down. And then I don't know how much it was the silencer, but the rear shock, I played with the rear shock, so I had the rear shock all the way stiff on the low speed compression, and I had the high speed compression only turned out 1.5. So today I put it back to right in the middle and set the high speed compression at 2 turns out. And it felt like going through like the stutter bumps, it was working way better. So I rode it, and then I ended up turning the high speed, but it kind of felt like it was sagging a little bit. So I ended up turning the high speed compression in 1/4 of a turn, and stiffened the low speed compression up 2 clicks, and felt money today. So that was fun.